In August, California Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill that put an end to schools forcing young transgender people to use bathrooms and join sports teams that are associated with a sex that they don't identify with. We spoke with an affected teen here on HuffPost Live. Take a look at that.
I didn't really have much support. And so because there wasn't any law like the School Success and Opportunity Act, I was always forced to be the boy on the girls' team. And I wasn't allowed to use the restroom for 6 years. I had to quit my gymnastics class when it was split between boys and girls. It was really tough.
The law is scheduled to go into effect on January 1st, but Conservatives have vowed to take action against it. Isis, I assume this this is not you're not a stranger to this kind of thing.
No, I can remember when I was in 9th grade, I had to play football, like in PE, you have to play football, and it's all these guys up there, these big guys, and I was still really tiny. And I just remember like, oh my God, I have to do this. And just being out on that field, like watching out, like, I don't want to do this, but I have to because this is just what you have to do. And I grew up in a school where there wasn't anyone, like a all-black school back in Prince George's County, Maryland, where I didn't see images of who I wanted to be. So I was too afraid to even come out about who I was until after college, just because I didn't see anybody like that. So I just remember like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. But I had to, and I wasn't in a place to fight that at the time, at home or in school. So
were you even consciously cognizant of what it is that you were going through?
Definitely.
Yep.
I knew since I was a very little kid, but it's just something that I didn't know how to explain, nor was I ready to explain, because I just knew that at the time where I was and who I was with my family, if I did that, I didn't know what kind of backlash I would get at home, let alone in school.
A&E, of course, suspended Duck Dynasty star Phil Robertson for making homophobic remarks. I kind of think this is one of those weird situations where, like, did we really expect this weird redneck to be a civil rights leader? I mean,
it's funny.
Surprise, surprise.
It's funny it started with me because I thought you guys were going to go first to see. When I heard this story yesterday, I didn't want to say anything like social media about it because sometimes my views are not what people expect them to be. Me personally, I don't really look at what he said as being homophobic. I just say that.
Really? He compared it to having sex with animals.
Oh, well, I didn't know about that part.
Yeah. Trust me, it was pretty homophobic.
It gets bad.
Well, in that case, but just the part about him saying about the sin part, like, just because I'm a Christian and I've heard so many things growing up that I feel like everybody is entitled to their own opinion. The part about the animals related, I didn't know about that. But if he just made it to that one part, there are so many people that I've won over saying that you don't have to agree with who I am or what I do as long as you respect me. And for that reason, I think it's like a gray area. But if somebody says something about comparing it to animal sex, I guess.
I just wonder, and Brian, I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, whether or not the reason why there's such an outpouring of defense for him is precisely because then we attack him so badly, and then there's a ratcheting up of a culture war that maybe people like him just have to die.
Well, I think that there's.
I mean, I don't mean we kill them.
I know.
Maybe they just die off, and then that's it.
Right.
Well, I think he's endemic of the fact that the United States is still not an LGBT-friendly place. I mean, I always tell my friends we live in a bubble in New York City and in San Francisco and Los Angeles, and lots of places in America are not like that. And even here, I mean, it's not always okay. I mean, people getting beat up and killed as well. But I think that the fact that people are yelling about free speech as if there's no consequences to free speech. Free speech is not an absolute. It's not like you can just yell anything and then people are just supposed to sit there and say, okay.
Well, they're supposed to not physically harm you, and they're supposed to not throw you in jail. I mean, you made this point, Noah, in your article, and this shits me to tears every single time someone says something batshit crazy and someone calls them out on it. The people who are defending that person, and it's almost always the right, say you're against free speech, as if to criticize someone is to deny their right to do something. Right. There are all kinds of things that I have the right to do that I choose not to do because I'm not an idiot.
But free speech means that, you don't get jailed for saying what. He didn't get put in jail. He didn't get arrested. He didn't get charged with anything.
Look,
a private company fired him.
As I said on the air yesterday and got some hate mail for it, I have the right to take a dump on this set right now, but I don't do it because it would be wrong. And if someone then called me out on it and said, why are you taking a dump on the set? It would be illogical, it would be a total non sequitur for me to say, because I have the right to, and you're against my my rights. No, we just think you're an idiot.
And I know the topic today is about LGBT issues, but the other horrible thing that got totally overlooked is that he also said some crazy stuff about the African American community.